Welcome back to get in front of the soul waves splashing across the planet. I'm Harmony Flowers, your mystic muse, here to guide your inspired soul awakening. In lesson 3, we explore together how you get better acquainted with your spirit guides for a better quality of life. In the book, Shades of Soul Passion, Guiding Principles to Set Your Soul on Fire, Chapter 3 is about rising above the roar with your spirit guides. And I can speak from experience that spirit guides really do help us to rise above the roar of life with a spiritual overview, and to get much more clear about our life purpose as loving souls and in terms of being of service, as in the same way they are of service to us throughout our lifetimes. I'm really happy to share with you today my secrets. I say secrets because up until now I've kind of kept them a secret, how this all unfolded for me, connecting to my spirit guides, and how I came to be a medium. And by sharing this with you, you also can experience the thrill of connecting with your spirit guides on a conscious level. Your guides have been with you since birth, but until now may only have communicated with you on a subliminal or superconscious level, so that it was a very subtle connection. And you and your guides form a spiritual team for the purpose of creating the situations and connections to others required for your highest soul growth. And also to comfort you when you need it, even when they know that you've used your free will against yourself, and have gotten hurt as a result. Our spirit guides love us unconditionally, and they respect our free will, but if we use it and we end up hurt, they're still there for us as a comfort and a strength and a guidance. So you will learn to tune into your guide's soul echoes more clearly. Together, you and your guides tap into divine source energy to co-create a greater wisdom in service to uplifting all life on earth. So you're like a dynamic team that co-create this loving, divine activation of soul energy to assist in uplifting planetary consciousness and unity. Your spirit guides assist your understanding that you are not your pain, but rather you are a key part of a loving universe. And as you make a leap of faith into sharing soul light with your guides, you're simply making the same leap of of faith that you make. When you make a leap of faith that you're breathing in air and then exhaling it from your lungs, even though you can't see it, you have faith that it's there to sustain your life, your physical form, your vehicle for your soul. It's like when you get on a plane and you make a leap of faith that all of these scientific and mathematical factors that keep a giant jet, a heavy, heavy giant jet, way up in the air, that they're all present and working together like clockwork, even though you can't see them. And the same is true for you and your spirit guides. So why wouldn't you make the same leap of faith in order to experience the thrill of this authentic connection, to improve the quality of your life for the rest of your life? So your guides make their messages tailor-made to your needs as a person. And it's so fun for me to share with you my path to becoming a medium. About a month after my 20th birthday, I went to have a personalized astrological reading with an astrologer who was quite well known in Vancouver, British Columbia at the time. And of course, the astrological reading was based on my place of birth, time of birth, and so it was in Spirit River, Alberta, and I thought that that was kind of a foreshadowing of me becoming a medium, that I was born in a place called Spirit River. Now, how is that for synchronicity? I wonder if my soul planned it that way. I wouldn't be surprised. And it was also based on the time that I was born, which was mid-morning. And anyway, of course, like everyone, I went in there thinking, oh, we're going to talk about what kind of work, what kind of job I'm going to have, romantic relationships, maybe kids, travel, and so forth. But lo and behold, the astrologer came out of left field and said to me, now, based on your chart, I really don't know if you're ready for this yet or not, but your chart shows that somewhere in your late 20s, somewhere around 26, he said, you will become a medium. And I was like, okay. This is interesting. And lo and behold, his prediction came true. Around October 28th, 1983, just a couple of months, 2.5 months after my 28th birthday, when I was living at Simon Fraser University on Burnaby Mountain with my 5-year-old daughter. And when I had just left a relationship that was a dead-end relationship for my needs. And lo and behold, when the fellow left And my daughter was at school one day, and I was there alone. And this feeling of utterly profound peace came upon me. I just can't even express enough how profound the peace was. I just felt a surrender and a oneness with the universe. And what that did is it created a space for my spirit guides to whoosh in to the room and connect with me on a conscious level that I had never experienced before. And I can tell you that it was utterly thrilling. Some people have called this an initiation. I call it a celebration. Their energy and the way that they presented themselves was very celebratory and quite fun. It was really fun for me. And I just absorbed it with amazement. It was like time stood still. And there's no words in any language that are adequate to describe it. But I want so much for you to have this, or at least some version of it, your own version of it, that has meaning for you in your own life. Anyway, their lights were just shimmering and twinkling and sparkling. Their lights were pink and mauve and blue, and they were bouncing off of the ceiling and the walls and darting around the room, and then surrounding me like a great big hug, and just enveloping me with pure love energy that just healed me in a second. It was incredible. Incredible. And I actually went back a few months ago. I wanted to take pictures of the inside of the apartment where this happened because I knew that I was writing this book and that I would want to share it, but they had just recently torn down the building. So, and they're building new residences there. So I just took a picture of the ground where the building had been, where they had just torn the building down. So at least I got a picture of that. And I'm sure that wonderful energy is still there in the earth where that happened, because it was just too beautiful not to still be there, not to still be lingering there. I really believe that. So I guess you could say that it was like fireworks, except it would be fireworks with profound love swirling through them. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful, shimmering. So in the days that followed, my guides began to put little kind of like video clip messages in my mind's eye. Like they would impress it on my mind's eye, on my brain. And the screen of my mind, I guess you could call it. And then after about maybe 3 months, the visual messages shifted mainly to auditory, where I would hear messages. And then my first guide, Ishtar, which I believe is an old biblical name, so that'll tell you, that name no doubt is from his last incarnation, so that tells you that he's an old ascended master. He came through speaking to me in Old English. And if you're familiar at all with Old English, it's like ye and thee and thou and all that. And it was really easy for me to tell his energy and voice separate from my own, because he would even like use words that I would never use. They're not even part of my vocabulary. And I would have to go and look them up in the dictionary. So, and sometimes, you know, if they said something at night, I would keep paper next to me and I'd jot it down, whatever it was, and then look at it the next day and reflect on it and what it meant for my life and for the lives of the people around me. And a few years later, a second guide came through. And I can't remember now. I wish I had written it down. I don't remember the exact year that this second guide came through. His name is Ephraim, and actually he recently made an appearance again, but he's also spoken Old English, and again, he has like an old biblical name, Ephraim, Ephriam. And just, his energy is just very down to earth, very patient, very loving, very wonderful, and wise. And one day, perhaps about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 6, he said to me, "Ye are a chosen one to bring the message of divine universal love to humanity." And so I accepted that my soul volunteered for the first cause of divine soul progress on planet Earth and in the universe. And as a volunteer, to be a messenger of all the good news from the loving spiritual source, it is my great honor to share this with you. And at my age now that I'm older, I wanted to ensure that I leave this blueprint behind, because it's so valuable, and it is the very essence of who we are. And I feel a responsibility to impart this wonderful knowledge to as many kindred souls as possible, human and animal, both benefiting from such action on my part. One year ago, in 2021, it's approximately a year ago, give or take a month, a third guide came through, and his name is Elijah. And I could instantly feel the difference in his energy from Ephraim. He's a little lighter, more modern. He doesn't speak in Old English. He speaks in modern day English. And I asked him, why has there been a changing of the guard spiritually? Like, why has Ephraim left as my main guide, and why has Elijah come in? And Elijah explained to me that he has more experience in the areas that I need support in at this juncture of my life. Perhaps even to do with this work that I'm doing through my book and this course. And so Elijah has been by my side while I've done the book. He's here with me now. I can feel his energy in my head, in and around my head, as I'm speaking to you. And of course, I've learned to have one foot in one world, the physical realm, and one foot in the other realm, or I could say perhaps one part of my brain in the physical realm and simultaneously another part of my brain in the spiritual realm, all at the same time, and function happily and comfortably, which is great. So I enjoy the communication between Elijah and I a lot, especially when he uses cosmic humor, which he does often. And your guides too will drop little nuggets of wisdom on your path to help you open to the awareness and of your soul, and to open to your soul gifts, and to open to communicating with the other side. And basically to accelerate your soul growth and to open new doors for your soul contribution as you glide easy breezy into your soul purpose more and more. I'll give you examples of how they do this. I'll use myself as an example. At that time, when I first began channeling my guides at 28, in that same area there was a bookshelf. And one day I walked over to the bookshelf, and just like a delicate, softly falling snowflake, I heard the name Rebecca fall down from the up in the air, down to about here, right around me. And I stopped in my tracks, and I said, I was muttering to myself, what the heck? Rebecca? Why did I get the name Rebecca? Like, I don't know any Rebecca. And then I just sort of mulled it over and couldn't come up with anything. And so I just sort of put it on the back burner and let it be for a while. And then a month later, I walked into a health center. It was a health center that had a spiritually based philosophy. And I was speaking with the owner in his office. And the owner said to me, you know, I've known you in a past life. Your name was Rebecca. And I was startled, and I looked at him. I didn't say anything to him, but I instantly knew that my spirit guide had given me the name Rebecca 1 month in advance, so that when he said that to me at the health center, I would know that it was true. So that's one example of how a little golden nugget of wisdom and or a sign was put in my path to assist me and help me to understand that there's more going on, behind the veil or behind the scenes than what we see physically with our and beyond our five senses, in other words. My guides, at another part of my life, I was standing in a room with, I was holding my daughter in my arms, and I was speaking with another family member. And my guides wanted me to understand that the dynamic of the relationship between my daughter and this other family member in this lifetime was a continuance to a degree of a past life in which the three of us were together then as well. And so the way that my guides chose to help me understand this was to show it to me by putting me into an altered state of consciousness, which again, I had never, up until that point, I had never experienced before. And so as we were visiting, I felt myself just shift into inner sight that traveled back to a past life memory with these two people, these two family members. And I heard quite a loud ringing in my ears as I went into this altered state. And because the connection between the three of us was very profoundly peaceful in this past life, when I went into this altered state, it was just utterly peaceful, which is a good thing. It's a really positive experience. And in that altered state, I saw my daughter and I with dresses down to our ankles, kind of like Little House in the Prairie outfits. And I could see that we were inside of a cabin. And it was in the countryside, I believe in England somewhere. And it was very dimly lit, like hazy dim. So it made it even more peaceful and kind of relaxed. And so I was aware that there was an oil lamp burning in the room that created this light. And this went on for a few seconds. And suddenly my conscious mind intervened, and it said, this can't be happening. And as soon as I had that limiting thought that this cannot be happening, it stopped. And I came back into 100% my conscious mind in the present. And of course, I didn't say a word to either of them, especially the other adult. I didn't say a word. I just knew that I was supposed to see this, to have this understanding about the dynamics in this lifetime, in the present, and how it connected to the past. And that was good enough for me. I was satisfied with that. And so, another example, I love sort of reminiscing about this one because it was so dear to my heart and special. A few years later, when I was doing my master's degree in counseling at UBC, my daughter and I took the bus downtown, and we were guided to a giant bookstore on Hastings Street. And it was a used bookstore, and with huge shelves of used books that went all the way up to the ceiling. And I'm not sure why we wandered in there, why I told myself we were wandering in there, but we did wander in there. And I started speaking with the store owner, and as I spoke with him, there were no other customers in the store. My daughter just wandered around the store, and about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes later, she came over with this tiny little book about 4 inches by 4 inches. And she said she was so pleased with herself, and she says, "Mom, look what I found. Look at the tiny little book." And I said, "Oh, wow, that's really cool." So I look at the book, and it's written by a young man from India. And it's a book about how when our souls are ready, we open to our spirit guides on a conscious level. We go from subliminal to conscious communication with our guides. And how we set the intention within our soul selves to learn from our wise guides who are often ascended masters. And I knew in that instant that we had been guided there to find this book. And I hugged my daughter. I said, "Oh, this is so great. This is so special. Thank you so much." And I used that book until it was an older book, and I used it until the pages turned yellow and crumbled. And luckily, they made an updated version, and I was able to order it off of Amazon, of all things. So I still have it. But I did keep some of the old pages from the book that fell apart, just because I kind of couldn't part with it because it was so special. So, like, you may find yourself being guided without even realizing you're being guided to experiences, places, situations, people, animals, you name it. They're very creative and inventive, these guides, and they care about you deeply, so they'll do it in a way that's meaningful to you. While once again, respecting your free will, but just subtly giving you that support and comfort and unconditional love. One point I'd like to make is that your guides do not consider any problem you have too small or too big to assist you with. So even if it's minor, don't think it's too small to bring to your guides and to talk to them about. If you're in despair, in the middle of a full-blown tragedy, do not hesitate to call upon your guides. They handle the full spectrum of issues and concerns, from tiny to huge, and everything in between. They're on your team, they're on your side, and you're never alone. You can always call on them. During COVID, we've had a lot of practice being alone. And it was when I had asked that fellow to leave when I was 28, and I got really comfortable with my aloneness, that I created that space for my guides to come in. And you can do the same thing. So you can actually turn this pandemic distancing situation into an opportunity to grow spiritually and connect with your guides. And I'll give you a positive affirmation that you can jot down to use to become ever increasingly comfortable with your aloneness, knowing that you're a whole, complete person all by yourself. Everything that you need is already inside you. You just have to tap into it, because you are made from pure love. So you already have pure love within you, right? So just reframe this for yourself, as I've done for myself. So I savor every moment of my aloneness as I return to the real me. Can you repeat that? Positive affirmation. I savor every moment of my aloneness as I return to the real me. And just the energy of those words is very calming. You will find the same. So let's now do a guided visualization to return to a connection with your guides at an even deeper, more vibrantly alive connection with your guides on a conscious level. I've prepared this visualization for you, and so I will read from this, and you can close your eyes and just let yourself go into the energy field of your guides. So start by shaking out your arms and hands, any tension. Do the same with your legs and feet if you need to. If you want, you can shrug your shoulders 2 or 3 times. Stretch way above your head into the air, feeling the stretch. And then sink into the furniture that you're on. Keep breathing freely. Breathe freely, and then close your eyes gently. Feel yourself moving into an empty field. And in this field, you have been feeling a little lost. because of all the uncertainty and change, and not quite knowing who you are anymore, or what the meaning of your life is, or what your purpose is here. And as you stand in this empty field, looking at the barrenness, you ask yourself, what could possibly be the meaning of life? Who am I truly? Why am I really here? What do I do next? A little discouraged and kind of exhausted, you lay down to rest and you close your eyes. Suddenly, you hear the gentle, kind words of your spirit guide connecting to your mind, soul, and heart. Your guide says to you, I am watching over you as your spirit guide. I have been with you since the day you were born, whispering loving guidance in your ear. You have never been alone, nor will you ever be alone. We are a soul team, you and I. Reach out to me, and I will help you create a safe space within you to shine your caring soul light, opening to your purpose and expressing it through your unique contribution to the planet. I will send you everything you need to fulfill your destiny using the gift from the universe of free will. Sometimes I will drop pictures of inspiration and guidance on the screen of your mind as a sign that I am always here for you, your guide assures you. You feel the warm glow of your guide's pure, loving energy wrapping around you in a giant cosmic hug. And you feel the oneness of your divine energy. You feel relaxed and profound peace. You notice how energized you have become, inspired to take the next step in your life, clear about your strong soul identity, leading you through life with honorable intentions, emerging from your soul self. Slowly, you open your eyes and stand up in the field. You are inspired to see that the field that was once barren is now shimmering with a rich landscape of beautiful natural wonders that reflect the exquisite inner landscape of your soul. You see a feast that your guide has spread out for you, symbolizing food for your soul growth and the divine contribution you came to gift humanity with. You now know with certainty that whenever you feel hollow within you, that you only have to ask your guide for further soul sustenance. You realize that you can come home to your authentic self anytime by shifting your soul awareness to your soul within and then connecting to your spirit guide. You are now a happy field wanderer in the magnificent field of the divine. You are now free to focus on managing your own authentic domain in life. Through the sacred, safe soul space you take with you everywhere you go. Teaming with your guide has now moved from subliminal to clear visibility in your mind's eye. You and your guide are special kindred souls who are closer than ever. You may now come back to the room you were in, feeling refreshed and at peace, and slowly open your eyes. You can speak to your guide using your mind's eye anytime you need, day or night. Sometimes I speak to my guide just to express my soul appreciation for his unconditional love and guidance and cosmic humor. And I can honestly say that it will become second nature. It'll just be easy breezy. And when you are first embarking on this journey with your spirit guide, you may feel a little timid that, gee, can I really do it? Little old me, can I really do it? Believe me, I've had one of the most humble lives on the planet, and if I can do it, so can you. And I have this other little saying that I think pertains to our connection with our spirit guides, and it says, what if I fall? And the response is, oh my darling, what if you fly? And I believe that some of us, when we're starting out, we do feel like, what if I fall? And our spirit guides really do encourage us to fly and help us to fly. Fly above the roar of life. I look forward to connecting with you in lesson 4, called Showing Kids How to Use Free Will to Choose a Healthy Soul Identity and Liberated Mind. And this is for all kids that cross your path, whether they're in your life for 10 minutes or 10 weeks. And as we all know, 10 minutes can inspire and transform one person's life or many people's lives. Until then, kindred soul, feel my cosmic hug for you across time and space. So glad we connected with both of our guides on this fine day. Namaste.